But finally, God will give us enduration. Amen. I made that word up, so don't worry about it. Amen. Enduration. Isaiah tells us in verse 31, we shall walk and not faint. Enduration. You know, you got to walk with God. Sometimes we run, but sometimes we just need to walk. Walk with God. You got to put God first in all the things of your life. Walkers are on praise like runners are praised, but however, walking is very important in our relationship with God. It's important. And when you walk with God, you can say, let us not be weary in well-doing, but in due season, in God's time, in due season, we shall reap if we faint not. Faint not. Faint not. Faint not. What that mean? Faint not. Faint not. God will give you strength for the long haul. For the long haul. And to serve him all the days of your life. And I'm so thankful to have rejuvenation. I'm so happy to have elevation. I'm so happy to have acceleration. And I'm so happy to have enduration. God has always done what he said he'll do. That's why I get happy all the time, Sister Finley. Folk don't get happy in the church no more. They so bougie and sedity and act like God hadn't done nothing for them. Folk don't get happy in church, but I grew up in church. I grew up in church, and Junior and I would know folk by name who would get happy every Sunday in church. Somebody gonna help me? Every service, when the Spirit hit, we know who was going to get happy. Not only that, me, Junior, a leader, and I would go home after church and play church. We would act like one of the members of the church that always got happy. But you know, over the years, God has brought me through a lot of stuff. He has brought me through sorrow. I lost my father and my mother. He's brought me through sickness, a stroke, and heart surgery. I've been broke. I've been down to my last dime. But God didn't turn his back on me. I've been in trouble and didn't know how it was going to turn out. And now I ain't playing church. I'm about to get happy now. I ain't playing church. If you're talking about Jesus, he's a friend of mine. If you're talking about Jesus, he's a friend of mine. If you're talking about Jesus, he's a friend of mine. He's a lily in the valley. He's a friend of mine. He's a bright and morning star. He's a friend of mine. He's a bridge over troubled waters. He's a friend of mine. Somebody know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have a religion that I couldn't feel sometimes. I wouldn't have a religion that I couldn't feel sometimes. If you're talking about Jesus, he's a friend of mine. Won't he rejuvenate you? Won't you stand to your feet if you know he'll rejuvenate you? He'll elevate you. He'll accelerate you. He will give you the endurance. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Won't he put food on your table, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, a car in your garage? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Say yeah. Talk to me. Say